light deals being a Jew. Because at least with Christianity, if I followed my life the way Jesus lived, not man, not a human, but just the way he lived, what kind of person would I be? If I followed the example of Muhammad's life, what kind of person would I be? And that was my deciding factor. If it was true or not true, I would still be a better person and could go to sleep at night with peace on my heart. And that's the thing that I did not see in Islam. I saw war, I saw struggle. I went in and out of the Middle East, and everywhere I went, it seemed like there was confusion. Always a spirit of confusion, always arguments, always somebody trying to outdo the other one, especially in the family that I was involved with. Now, maybe that's not the case in every family, but in this is what I have. This is my story. This is what I experienced. And that's what I can go by. And I knew I had to get back to that peace. My life was a nightmare for many years. When Muhammad would come home, I didn't have a weight problem then because I couldn't eat. Because as soon as I made dinner and he would come home, I was always afraid that he was going to blow up. And it wasn't like he had a pattern. Like, if somebody scrapes a chalkboard, that kind of gets on my nerves. But with him, I never knew what would get on his nerves. One day, it could be something as little as putting a carpet in the wrong space that he didn't like me putting it there and being knocked down a flight of 15 stairs. Or if the food wasn't cooked just right, or I forgot to have something on the table. It was a nightmare. There was yelling and screaming. He beat the children. I stood in front of my children many times to keep them from being hit. I've seen my children kicked. Why didn't I call the police? I did. He was arrested twice for abuse of the children, but he always got off. In my case, it was always my fault that I made him beat me. If I hadn't have done what I did, I would have never made him angry to hit me in the first place. But I can say, thank God, there has been some restoration. How do we solve this problem? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. All I can do is go out and share my story and hope one person, every time I speak, listens. And they get fired up enough to do something, to go and tell another person. Because I do believe that one person can change the world. I believe that one voice can lead to two voices. And then how things multiply, it's amazing. We have an issue. My agenda, my platform, is to keep American Christian women, or Jewish women, or women at all from marrying Muslim men. Because every single marriage I have seen has ended in divorce. And none have been pretty. And I have received hundreds of letters from women all across this nation. That's my part. What's yours? Because we all need to lock arms. Because you can reach someone that I can't reach. And I can reach someone that you can't reach. And if we do this together and we quit being an island, and that's why I love what ACT is doing, is because Brigitte is not trying to do this by herself. She is trying to reach out and get others involved so we can do something. You know, Islam is the most disorganized group of people to be organized I've ever met in my life. I mean, I'm serious. It's hilarious that, Muhammad says he won't even work with Arabs. But yet, they're able to accomplish what they're accomplishing because they're focused on the same agenda. We have to get focused and work together and tell people and be a voice and speak out what even little bit you know. But all I want to encourage you is that make sure what you know is truth. And make sure what you're saying is not elevated. Because truth is what's going to set this nation free and keep it from being in bondage. Any questions? Wow. Do you want to have a mic to get it on tape? Like I said, I'm just being casual with you tonight because I just want to share a little bit and then just let you talk. I want to hear from you. He's getting a mic. Because it's very important that you have a clear understanding of what's going on. And you can get my testimony in my books. You can get it from the DVD this morning and get more of my story and understanding. Are y'all ready? 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Children you had with Muhammad.
Yes.
What faith did they practice?
You know what? That's usually remember I said this morning, that's the number one question. My children have all made a profession of Christianity at one point in their life. None of them are following Islam. But some of them are still working on their testimony and building my faith. If that makes any sense.
And he just said I have to re-ask the question because they're
Okay.
recording it. The children you had with Muhammad, what faith did they practice? And you just answered the question.
Right. They are not following Islam. I'll just let... There you go.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming and speaking to us.
Oh, thank you guys for being here.
And I do have 2 questions. The first of which is, on your website, do you outline...
Put the mic close to your mouth.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes?
We can hear you now.
Okay, very good. Do you have any presence, or does this message have any presence on college campuses, even on seminaries, or do you have partnerships with any list of organizations that are part of this mission?
Yes, I do. I speak wherever I'm asked. I'll speak to one, I'll speak to thousands. I have spoken to lots of youth groups, basically just wherever. I've been on quite a few national television shows. Same thing like Brigitte. You know, I try to do as much as I possibly can. Articles, books, just getting all the information out that I possibly can.
What you said about the children being abducted and so forth. Is there anything on your website or anything else that you could direct us to that has that outline in like maybe a short but transferable video that could be posted and massively, so forth?
No, but we could do one.
I think that would be very effective because many people would love to know about this and participate.
Exactly. Matter of fact, in my new book, Vow of Deception, there is a appendix in the back of the book that have a lot of hotline numbers on how to block children's passports, abuse hotlines. There's probably like 3 pages of nothing but numbers of who to contact. So I have them in the book. But my website keeps getting crashed. So if anybody wants to help me out with my website to put up really good firewalls, that would be really nice. I just got my computer back. I've had 2 computers crash, completely melt down, and my website. So I guess I am getting a little attention.
Thank you.
Are you allowed to speak in public schools?
I have spoken in some schools. If I'm invited, I speak pretty openly. Will I speak in public schools? Absolutely. If that door opens, I will. I have been in over 60-something mosques internationally speaking. So.
I understand that there's so-called
Killings?
quote honor killings that take place, and there's even some that are taking place in America.
Yes.
Unfortunately, is there, like, for example, if the person in a family that's Islamic and that person is now aware that his or her life is in danger, Is there like an emergency number or emergency organization, or how will they know who to contact? What will they know what to do or whatever?
Go on my website, call me. And that's
As-
all the information I'll give about that.
Okay, okay,
Because if I go any further, it's not safe.
yeah.
Okay. But yes, there's places they can go.
How responsive over here?
Okay.
How responsive has the government been as far as the Sharia law, as far as you say that the marriage is that allowed here in America, or are they aware of it, or how do they handle it? How does the government handle it?
Let me tell you, let's back up to 1998, before 9/11. After Muhammad and I separated, I was trying to purchase a house, and I found that he had 7 Social Security numbers. I called everybody you could possibly call, and nobody responded. Now, after 9/11, I have had the Terrorist Task Force, CIA, and FBI contact me on several occasions. I warned them from 98 all the way to 2001 because I actually bought flying lessons for Muhammad in Sarasota. He said he wanted to learn 3 things: learn how to scuba dive, skydive, and fly a plane. I bought him like I said, the flying lessons to the Sarasota little airport here in Florida. And the only reason why he didn't take it is because he had a heart attack. After 9/11, my children positively identified 5 of the hijackers that had been in our home and in our presence. I called the FBI, I called everybody. They thought I was a crazed woman who was just mad because I didn't get my settlement. But I'm still doing it, and I still haven't gotten a settlement. Matter of fact, I have completely forgiven Muhammad of all his debts. So I don't do this for money. Believe me, I could have found something else.
As far as the moderate Muslims go, are they just afraid to speak out, or what is the percentage of extremists versus moderate Muslims?
Let's just put it this way. Who is really moderate? If there was a civil war that broke out in the United States between Islam and just the regular American citizen, and your next door neighbor is this wonderful Muslim that you go and have coffee with, halawa with, baklava with, hummus with, and you just think they're the sweetest person, ask them one question. If a war broke out between America and they're to push through the Sharia law, and you would not convert, what would they do with you? In Islam, Muhammad in the Hadith says that if a Muslim was to do all the pillars of Islam, do you understand what I'm talking about with pillars of Islam? That means if you pray, if you fast, if you make your Hajj, if you make your statement of faith, he says, this is their prophet Muhammad, he says the top pillar of Islam is jihad. So one jihad will cover every single pillar of Islam. How do you perform jihad?